Hello everybody and welcome back to the JM and Friends channel. Now for those of you that haven't been keeping up with our podcast, The Radiator Arms, that I co-host with James and Ant, and also the previous video that James and I have done on this Golf, and the video that I did on my Austin Maestro, my name is Will. And you may be asking, what are you doing standing in front of your Golf today, and why does the title say that you're going to be changing the front end on it? 1, because I can. 2, because it's cheap. And 3, because it fits. So let's talk about the front end I'm going to be putting on this car. I'm going to be swapping a Volkswagen Bora front end onto it. And the reason for that is because basically the Volkswagen Bora is a Mk4 Golf with a boot. So pretty much everything from kind of this way forward has only changed visually, but all the mounting points are the same. So really it means that it's actually quite an easy swap to do. And I don't reckon it'll take me more than maybe an hour or two. And another fun fact for you is that in North America and possibly some other regions, the Jetta wagon had the same front end as the Bora. So pretty much what I'm doing is kind of a swap that was done by factory in other parts of the world. So while people swapping a Bora front end onto a Mk4 Golf is not a new concept, and in fact has been done many times before by people, it's something you don't really see done that much anymore because the cars themselves are starting to get older now, and the wagon variant / estates are also pretty much one of the rarer variants now. Okay, well this isn't going to be a totally in-depth tutorial, it's going to be more of a join me and let's have some fun today. The first thing we need to do, as mighty car mods always say, is jack up your car. Trust me, you're going to have a much better time if you just jack the thing up and take the wheels off. Now with the car jacked up, we've got to start taking bits of trim off. And I'm going to start with this one, because we're going to need to get to some bolts out of here. We've got 3 bolts out of here, which removes the top of the bumper cover. And there are some more as well. There are some bolts underneath this cover here, which just pushes in and comes off like so. And the same with the other one. It's got 2 bits that you push in and it comes off like so and reveals 2 bolts that are under here. So with 5 bolts up top removed, 2 on the bottom of the bumper, and a couple of T20s that I forgot about on each side, the bumper should now be ready to come off. Remember to unplug your outside temperature sensor if your vehicle is equipped with such niceties. And when it comes to removing the headlights, you've got to do 4 T20 bolts, 2 up top, 2 up bottom, 1 electrical connector, and they'll just be raring to come out. And the good part about this is we don't need to change any of the core support here to fit the new headlights in, or the electrical connector. They will literally just bolt straight in and there won't be a problem with that at all. With the headlights removed, it is now time to take the bonnet off the car. One of the first things you've got to do is pop off these little caps and take off the washer jet lines, and they just feed out the bonnet. Then you've got a kind of fixing metal shim which goes on the pole for the gas strut, and then it is just 4 13mm bolts that you have to undo and remove, and then pretty much the whole bonnet should just lift off, as you are seeing now with some B-roll of my glamorous assistant. When it comes to removing the wing, there are a bunch of bolts you need to take off. First of all, you've got 4 on top, you've got 3 going up here, and you've got 2 on here. Now once you've removed those and little bits of the arch liner and all the other stuff that goes along with it, what you'll find is it'll just kind of fall out of place quite nicely once you've also helpfully removed the indicator bulb, and that leaves you with an area where you can check out, clean out all the mud from the guttering bits in this, and then you can pop on your new wing. Now in true Blue Peter fashion, here's a Bora wing that I fitted earlier already, just to test and make sure that it was all going to go on and all going to roughly line up the way I think it should. As the Haynes manual would say, installation is opposite of removal, and that's pretty much true. There's not really anything you have to worry about that's different to taking it apart, other than just making sure you've got kind of all the bolts lined up in the correct place, and that'll be done when you've got the bonnet on. The other thing to bear in mind is that there are slight differences in the plastics that go here. I mean, this is one from the other side, so you need to make sure that when you get a Bora front end, if you are going to do this swap, you get the plastics which hold the bumper in, because the moulding is ever so slightly different. So now we're going to install the headlight, which is pretty simple as well. It's the same 4 bolts. We've got this connector here, which you have to twist around as it's the other way around, and you just plug that bad boy in like so. push fit, and then once you've done that, it's simply a case of just slide it in, and then you pop the bolts in and make sure it's kind of aligned up with your wings, and it's as simple as that. It's just plug and play. So now with the headlights on and the wings on, it's time to put the bonnet on, because once the bonnet is on, I can have a little move around and make sure everything is lined up. And as long as that's all lined up, it's a case of just putting on the front grille, the front bumper, and doing up all the little bits and bobs, and essentially that's the swap done. And it's only been a couple of hours that I've been doing this so far at most, and I probably could have got it done in half the time if I wasn't filming. It's actually quite an easy job to do. There is something I need to mention. Now, do you remember when I said this earlier in the video? It's as simple as that. It's just plug and play. Now, that is mostly true, but what you'll find, as I mentioned earlier, because the original headlights had 2 bulbs rather than a single bulb with 2 filaments, the wiring does need to be altered. The issue you'll have is if you don't change the wiring, when you go to put the full beams on, it'll actually light up the high beam and the low beam filament. And while most people can probably get away with doing this, you'll find that you're more likely to burn out your bulbs and more likely to cause issues with, premature bulb failure, or other electrical issues, too much current, potential overheating as well, and warping the plastic lenses. So what I ended up doing was fitting a relay in line with the high beam wire and the low beam wires, which basically meant that it would cut off the power to the low beam whenever the high beam or the flash was enabled. And that stops it from burning out the bulbs and makes it work as a normal H4 bulb should do in most other cars with an H4 bulb. Now, it's very important to note that once you have this installed, you need to go and get your headlights aligned. Any good garage or MOT test centre should be able to do this for you. It might not even cost you at all to do it, or they might only want a small fee, but the problem is you can't really align it yourself without the proper gear, and then you risk kind of blinding people or not just having enough visibility on the road. And as we've gone down from 2 bulbs to a singular bulb, it's more important than ever to make sure that we get this aligned and we have a good light coverage, because they're probably not going to be as good at night as the original headlights, which is a trade-off that I do have to mention. And here we have it. And do you know what? I know it might be divisive to some of the audience members out there, but I actually really quite like the way this looks. Yet, personally, I've always thought that the Golf Estate would have been better suited in the UK to having the Bora front end. I think it just makes it look a little bit more classier and a little bit more grown up. The only problems I had with it was actually aligning the panel gaps. Now, the reason for that is I'm not that good at bodywork, if I'm honest. It's not kind of my jam, it's more the mechanical things. And, there's lots of things you have to tweak and move to get it right. I'd imagine if I had somebody to help me who knew about it as well, I could probably get it a bit better, but I don't think I've done too badly. I mean, it is looking a little bit more British Leyland than it is perhaps Volkswagen, but it's good enough for who it's for, and that is me. You let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. But before we go, I really have to say a big thank you to the guys at the VW Chop Shop in Ipswich. They deal with a lot of Mk4 parts, and they gave me a really good deal on this front end, and also a really nice set of leather seats as well, which I have since fitted to the car, which make a big upgrade to it. So if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. And also don't forget to subscribe for our podcast, The Radiator Arms. We'll see you in another video soon.